Hello everyone and welcome to VW MOOC 24 and our first week. Today's session is going to be given by Renne and Emiko Brock, or Zinnia, Zauber in Second Life. Renne is an artist, instructor, and superhero empowering people to be their best virtual and tangible self by advancing excellence, exceptional pursuits, and individualism through creative expression and encouraging instruction with inspired results. Renne has actively taught college-level fine art and digital media for over 22 years, and her company, Unique as You, specializes in color perception, intention, and utilization to create motivating, engaging experiences with innovative identity development, marketing, social media, events, and immersive environments for business, nonprofits, educational institutions, organizations, and communities. Renne creates art, apparel, and virtual goods embracing the power of brilliant hues, uniqueness, and acceptance, focused on the evolution of intelligence, role models, and superheroes. Renne earned her Bachelor's of Science in Art at Lewis and Clark College and her Master's of Fine Art and Visual Art at Vermont College, Norwich University. In 2009, she graduated from the first pioneering class of the University of Washington Certificate in Virtual Worlds program. She's an award-winning artist, educator, nonprofit establisher, board member, and arts advocate who only uses her superpowers for good. She has been teaching virtual world use since 2008 with University of Washington Peninsula College, Federal Consortium for Virtual Worlds Conference at the National Defense University, Virtual Worlds Best Practices in Education Conferences, New Media Consortium, TechSoup Global, Nonprofit Commons, Virtual Ability, Rockcliffe University Consortium, Second Life Community Conferences, Geek Girl Con, and Arizona State University. Renne is the chair of the Nonprofit Commons Mentors and applies virtual networking, fundraising, exhibition, and education creation as a board member of several nonprofits. Grateful to the 2020 VW BPE Thinker Award recipient. So it gives us great pleasure to have you with us today.
Don't quit at the Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Hub. That's the Jedi Hub, focused on student success services and resources on accessibility, acceptance, and Audacity adventure. Jedi Hub contains DEI student stories about academic advising, funding resources, transitional studies, tutoring, and our learning center, educational accessibility, mental health and wellness, library services, and where we are right now, professional community connections. Okay, let's hit these slides. And as we go through things, we'll be able to explore different areas that the students help produce to share their stories. Playing is learning. This is my theme for the school year. Take aim to advance communication and XR multimedia skills by using problem-solving coursework and build interactive experiences for exploration, affinity learning. Assignments around awareness of others needs motivates altruistic. I can spell these words maybe, but saying them sometimes are a little more difficult. Motivates altruistic learners to apply heroic solutions. You want to intensify your incentive with your student's superhero mission by way of fearless engaging virtual storytelling projects where they focus on active empathy to become advocates and agents for positive change in world or out. You can see with these images I have my slides also have some captions. Take time over tea. Students new to virtual learning have much to teach us about the impact of it. And you'll find that lemons are a big theme within a lot of our work. Many educators are unaware of the combinations that our students require due to non-visible disabilities and barriers. I have a number of students who have had traumatic brain injuries that take my classes or have been injured and are coming to school for rehabilitation for new employment. So our objectives are to explore emerging passion and compassion within virtual student projects to make a daring difference. We support intrepid efforts and assemble diverse causes into focus within a caring community co-action project. And we create advocates with audacity to speak up with solutions. My students are notorious for that. So empathy and audacity. So my logic map here considers different aspects of XR. So when we talk about XR can be mixed reality or cross-platform reality. So with the logic map, you can see the different aspects of the XR design process with an iterative design process as well. So freedom to play and to reflect, provide the open spaces to care and share. Being able to play is really big for us, and it allows you to be brave and bold. Since 2015, the Superheroes Journey new student orientation, digital storytelling, and 3D design interactive project has been an ongoing, persistent engagement experience to inform and inspire new students to be included in the adventure filled with information, encouragement, and inclusive experiences in Second Life. One thing that we have done with this project is that we learn from the students what they wish they had when they came in as new students in onboarding. Students guide the theme and action. Okay, if I've gotten to this point, that means it's time for us to move. All right. So let's take a stroll to our next slide deck, and please look for the colorful arrows to help guide you. Follow me. This way. Oh, gotta get past. Oh, sorry, Stefania. Come this way. We're heading this way. We're walking. We're walking. And there's a number of mushroom seats that you can sit on, little stools. So give everyone a chance to get around here. Fantastic. And I'm sorry if I didn't have enough chairs. They are pretty comfy. Thank you. Okay, so we are in the Jedi Hub of library services and resources. I think the dead giveaway is a bunch of books, right? Okay. So this year, my students wanted to focus on services and resources to support accessibility, acceptance, and care. Hopefully you can all find your way. And I'm going to zoom out here for a second so folks in Zoom can see a little bit more of how this is put together. And this is under construction. I will share that. We like to see the behind the scenes, right? Okay, zoom back in. So last year, y'all helped with define your difference with your Lone Star compass by picking a verb. And if you go back to where we started, you can actually pick up this gift if you'd like. Our project in Second Life is opened eyes and ears to students' experiences. I've provided a safe, expansive platform for them to express themselves boldly. Their passion to make the path smoother for those who follow them was inspiration to administration, staff, faculty at my college. It is always so much fun to share with them. So we use the superheroes steps as a way to explore our students' evolution as they go through college. So we have step 0, the decision to start. Step 1, the ordinary world before the adventure begins. This step refers to the hero's normal life at the start of the story before the adventure begins. Step 2, the call to adventure. The hero is faced with something that makes them begin their adventure. This might also be a problem or a challenge they need to overcome. And it's wonderful to see how many of you have taken on the call to adventure. You can see with the picture here, I'll zoom in a little closer, you can see that the nonprofit Commons had an exhibit for Second Life's 20th birthday party. And this was when we were touring the exhibits with our partners. Step 3, the refusal of the call. The hero attempts to refuse the adventure because they are afraid. This could be a barrier they fear will hold them back, or an actual one that they will find solutions for. We chant, "Trying is doing," to get started. As we battle perfection issues, I remind students, perfect actually means be done. How many of you guys like to embrace perfection and perfect? And you'll embrace it more if you realize it means you're done. Here's a picture of a future multi-pass for this rebel educator that I made in 1988. Step 4, meeting with a mentor. The hero encounters someone that can give them advice and ready to help them for the journey ahead. Now, most of us have had mentors in our education, which has been fantastic. They gather resources for the journey, and they learn from experienced heroes and allies who want them to succeed. Now, how many of you in Second Life are right near one of your favorite mentors that have helped you along the way? Crew who is with us today are a lot of fantastic mentors. I will encourage you to get to know them. Step 5, crossing the first threshold into the extraordinary world. The hero leaves their ordinary world for the first time and crosses the threshold into adventure in the extraordinary world. Now, we describe this as that you start going to school. My favorite snapshots of the year was my students and I in our conversation pit working on our Dive into College project. Now, my students come up with fantastic ideas that we try to implement on campus as well. Step 6, your discovery of your superpowers and the challenges, including tests, allies, and enemies. The hero learns the rules in our new world. During this time, they endure tests of strength of will, meet friends, and come face to face with foes or frenemies. Special abilities and superpowers are discovered, and challenges abound while building bonds and trusting teams. You encourage civic leadership and activities to engage with others, fostering more opportunities and foster voices to be heard. One thing that Second Life does provide is opportunities for us to meet people who are like us and unlike us to learn from. Step 7, adaptation of perspective and approach. Setbacks do occur, sometimes caused by the hero trying a new approach or adopting new ideas. Making an effort to achieve a different perspective uncovers and brings into focus clear solutions for complicated obstacles. Hands on hips. So if you're sitting there in the chair, I dare you to put your hands on your hips and see how empowered you feel when you do that. Reflecting on your own work over the years empowers your voice and theme perspective to change minds and hearts. Step 8, the ordeal reveals resources and inner strengths. The hero experiences a major hurdle or obstacle, such as a life or death crisis. During this difficult time, it appears the journey might be over and end with failure. This is when resources and inner strengths are revealed and applied. Enhance your calm and adventure on. My students asked me to stop using "don't panic" and start giving them this assurance, which they really loved. So I have my students read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in the first class they have with me. And of course, the theme of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is "don't panic." But apparently that made them panic all the more. Step 9, the unforeseen reward. After surviving death, the hero earns their reward or accomplishes their goal. Often this reward is different than they originally thought they sought, and they are far richer because of it. Stay on target is even on my car. And I say here, obviously this image has been photoshopped because there's no way my parking space would be that close to my classroom. And those of you in Zoom, you can see a picture of the building I teach in. And if I move the right way, where the little orange flower is, that's my classroom. Step 10, the road back and metamorphosis. The hero begins their journey back to the ordinary world. This is where their transformation is revealed, demonstrating how the journey has changed them. They are often rejected or conflicted by this metamorphosis because they cannot return to their previous viewpoint or identity. Through our own experiences, Sam's infographic uses keys, virtual animals, and storing nuts as money metaphors. So one thing that my students do is that they go through the notion of these different steps and they choose one of the steps to focus on based on where they think they are in their educational adventure. And over time, over years of working with me, they also, migrate from step to step to step that they want to focus on. Step 11, the resurrection, hero, evaluation, and reflection. The hero faces a final test where everything's at stake and they must use everything they have learned. This final challenge, conflict, or evaluation generates opportunities to demonstrate superpowers while shedding light on their next quest or the true path to take. So Amaz created a magic ball to gaze into your future. This is in our academic advising area so that you can gaze into the ball and see your future. Of course, it's a little more steampunky and techno to go with our themes. So what are your goals and dreams? And step 12, the return with the education elixir, and becoming the mentor. The hero brings their knowledge or their elixir back to the ordinary world, where they may apply it and help all who remain there. They become the mentor for the next hero on their journey. Their experience and conviction demonstrates that they are an important part of a bigger story. Ray, who's the wolf here, transformed from student to tutor to mentor. And this was when we did her lessons that she learned that she presented at Virtual World's Best Practices in Education last year. And it was about overcoming perfectionism while learning in a virtual environment. Okay. So we're going to continue our tour, and we're going to head over to our mental health and wellness Jedi Hub area. So let's find those bright arrows. And I'll walk over this way. And you can see we already have our little theater space. Keep following me. Okay, look for those arrows, and please do not tease the bears as you come through. And I'll encourage you to come back over and visit a lot of these spaces again. All right. Give everyone a chance to find their way. And you're welcome to try out one of the yoga mats or one of the bean bags. You can also practice just relaxing. So come on over. We'll give people a chance to find their way. Awesome. You guys are doing great. Okay. Now, what I will share on screen is that there's a lot of experiences that my students have built within these spaces, and encouraging people to learn a little bit about yoga, something they wanted to try out. It's a very popular class at my school as well. Okay, I think everyone found their way. Thank you. Okay, justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. A little closer here. So why Jedi instead of DEI? This includes justice optimistically assures action will be taken. You know what? A lot of people actually practice a little bit of the yoga. Oh yeah, you found the Tai Chi down on the beach. Excellent, yeah. You can see these little balls here. You can definitely do a little Tai Chi down there, or you can do a little yoga here. Or just stand, it's okay. Awesome. I need to put my thriller dance balls back out though. Because we all need to know thriller. Okay, sorry, I get excited. So action-packed superheroes need to take or encourage something that will happen to improve situations, not just talk about it. So on a summer reunion last year with my childhood geek friends, we realized that, not all of us wear our Jedi Master robes. So my friend Jeff here in one of his Jedi robes. And he had a huge collection of lightsabers. They were just beautiful. And then one of my former students designed and built a custom lightsaber for me. It's beautiful, and I'm looking forward to using it as a laser pointer in class, first day class. Okay, back to slides. So keys to success. So at the start of the project, I've designed these 24 keys to success for the students to choose as a storytelling device to open treasure chests of resources and rewards. I'll scroll in here a little bit, and you'll get to see these keys a little bit more in a moment. So you can choose to build keys to success that demonstrate and inspire students through positive, persistent, and to pursue their achievements beyond the classroom. So one of the things that I really do encourage is that you find devices and customize your classroom experiences. These keys to success are actually in my classroom, my physical classroom as well. And they're a great thing to point at and encourage, but also have them explain why these are important to them. So my students have created a Jedi Center and gallery to showcase student projects and multimedia projects. And they've curated a Jedi leadership pathway to help guide students in their various roles as responsible media makers and leaders. And then our next project was the Jedi Hub to discover resources and services to enhance and improve their educational adventure. What we call some of these resources on campus is our wraparound services. And we will make announcements about them and let people know when they're coming on campus. So the keys to connect with these would be responsibility and our encourage key. And I built these keys to have very specific iconic experiences with them as well. We also have our respect key and our adaptability key. Now, as you're watching these, I'd love to know which keys you guys like. Accessibility, acceptance, and audacity adventure. What is something you're passionate about? What are your students fired up about? And that universal design is a spark for us. My infographics and 3D achievement awards were built that included researching and working with campus or community stakeholders. So as we were in the library area, the two gentlemen that the students worked with were very interested in fungi and mushrooms. And so that lent to the theme of having all those mushrooms, as well as the student who started with that project. Her arms were covered with colorful mushroom tattoos. So it all came together. Universal design is the process of creating designed products and environments that are accessible, understood, and used by all people to the greatest extent of possible, regardless of their age, size, ability, disability, and other characteristics. At the center of the Jedi Hub, students are encouraged to rest, not quit, in a storytelling circle with a magical mouse. Kind of a big deal. Keys to success unlock students' potential and often their advocacy to support others. You can support agency to enhance interests and new skills and to celebrate these superpowers students inherently possess. This is one way that I like to motivate my students, is to find out what is important to them and what they think should make a difference. So let's see how it's going down on the beach. All right, we got more people doing their chi. And again, sharing folks are joining us on the beach. Now, I am terrible at remembering to document things. So I'm going to take a quick picture of us while we're here. Awesome. Do you guys remember to tell your students to document their process? I hope so. Okay, get back into those slides. So we've got our engagement key, our connect key. We have accept failure and curiosity key. So when I'm going through a lot of these things, you can see that I've built up these different systems and to show different words that are related to those ideas. So in this case, that idea of activity, to publicize, to reflect, and to research. And a lot of these different learning systems are built upon each other in my work, to hopefully inspire the students and to find those connections between things. Welcome a challenge. Teams strengthen when they define the problem and work toward a solution. The Jedi Hub has 8 spokes or areas for students to focus on. And the steampunk helm got them in gear. In this picture, you can see Misha's theme for accessibility education resources was the transformational grounding worm to be uplifted as a butterfly. And when we walk by there, you'll see these beautiful butterflies. Jerry, thanks for joining us. And then Hannah, as I mentioned before, focused on the library services and resources, and included the connected mushrooms and curious grow. We use animals as our storytellers in our projects. And last quarter, oh boy, everyone wanted a brand new animal. So we added more and more this time. And of course, everything is color coded. It's me, Zinnia. So you want to create a space that has limitations and at the same time is limitless. Working with some restrictions provides opportunities for creativity and a chance to question authority. A theme keeps the team exploring. And we're going to keep exploring as we're going to migrate to our next spot. So, okay, let's stroll past the Education Accessibility Hub, and then we're going to stop at the Tutoring and Learning Center. I'll give you guys some views along the way. I have a little creek here. It's not very deep, so you can walk right through it. And I'll encourage you to have a seat here. And if you don't, I apologize. You can stand, or I can res a few things. We'll give people a chance to get over here, and I'll show you some of those beautiful butterflies. For 10 years, I lived in Monterey, California, which is next to Pacific Grove, California, where I taught at Monterey Peninsula College. Of course, now I'm just at Peninsula College. I like those Peninsula colleges. And the monarchs would migrate that area. So we filled the area with all kinds of monarchs. And because I teach students all over the world, we had heated debates of what kind of butterflies were in the areas that they lived. Oh, can you see that flying whale in the distance? Yes, that's Esmeralda. That's Esmeralda. And she will be part of some of our stories that we will share soon. We have a whole new project that we'll be working on, and we'll start in September. So Esmeralda is a big part of that for sure. Okay, returning to our slides. Okay, looks like you guys found your way to our picnic area. So working with academic strangers together with a common goal. So this is something that I really encourage is to definitely work with someone who does not know what you're talking about. It improves your communication skills immensely. So teach artful solutions using storytelling and technology to empower and overcome challenges, inspiring telling of unique accounts of superhero students as an active learning modality. So that storytelling component, like if we all have something that we struggle with and our different ways that we solve it, it's fantastic to hear about. And you can see with this target, that idea of the connected discipline, a combined promotion of what you've accomplished, the collaborative connections, and the cooperative production. This includes our resilience key and our contribute key. our socialized key, and our integrity key. Include everyone. Students suggest that we leave the land. In this case, you can cam in the water right behind us. That we leave the land and we hit the shore with guided pathways, dive into college, underwater, wonder and treasure project. Oh boy, that's what I do come up with these really long titles. It was a huge change of perspective that upended the ways that we approach the areas of study into bubble spheres. And you can see on this helm the different areas of study that we have at the college. Curiosity over fear. What are you scared of? What brings a group together? Helping each other to learn and lead more students, to want to add more and more content to the projects. So the students wanted to build a whole new area to emphasize the different areas of study that we have available at our college. Holy cow. I ran out of prims on the sim. So we started a new project, which is over here on a new sim. The students shared what they faced when they faced their fears. They were afraid of the water and the creatures that were in it. We live along the Salish Sea, so we are, right there at the shore with lots of water and lots of crazy creatures. This project gave them courage to dive in. Given the challenge of what healthcare could be in the future. So one of the themes that we had when we were working on this project is, what does the future hold? How will education change? Well, we're living it right now, aren't we? A virtual world learning space freed the students to consider comfort over fear. They designed a friendly waiting room that was actually scanning the patients gently and encouraging wellness and happy, healthy habits in their healthcare provider. Now, a lot of people worry that comfort will be an issue in the future. Personal experience produced more input than rejection. Live in the future. Provide concentrated consideration of hope and recognition for using outlandish imagination. We sure like to have fun. You cannot have community without unity. I can't say this word. Experiential learning is more than a student-based education encounter. It is a way to build communities with a sense of belonging and purpose. Virtual teaching and learning is substantial and tangible. And our keys are persistence and enrich, celebrate, and prioritize. Leave things better than you found them. Sustainability and consideration of future generations can be explored in virtual spaces and applied in the physical world. Build spaces people can explore and be stirred by. And the students document their process throughout the project, and you can see Janie focused on our local marine life and applied artificial intelligence art tools. Remain focused while reaching out. Community connections strengthen the resolve to work together. Students reach out to different college departments, museums, and art centers as stakeholders. Guided pathway bubbles for science and math pathways, and the information technology pathways included multimedia. Dream big and build bigger. Experience creating for Burning Man, inworld, and out led Janine to create an interactive event based on her digital storytelling project. She formed a team to support her experience in the woods surrounded by the local art center. Her illustrations became an immersive outdoor experience for the Port Angeles Fine Arts Center Wintertide. It was amazing. And we also built an experience for the end of the quarter for students to experience as well. Okay. So let's continue our stroll, taking in the sights and stories through our transitional studies area and funding resources. How's everyone doing? Okay. I'm checking our time. We got 15 minutes, so we might have to go through this quickly. Our traditional, okay, cool. All right, awesome. So we can follow our arrows here. Our transitional studies program at Peninsula College is to help students so that they can earn their high school diploma. And it's also an area that helps people who are English is their second language. And it brings students into more of our programs as they've gone through the transitional studies. Yeah. So they wanted to be sure to include welcoming messages through these spaces. And then now we've come across our funding resources, which is filled with squirrels and chipmunks. And of course, we have a wishing well here because we want students to dream and wish for the education and opportunities that they can have at Peninsula College. And then we help find the funding for them. Okay, let's cross this bridge. A little hopscotch. And then we will come into our center hub so you can check it out. I mentioned that you got a little mouse who's your host. Here's the little mouse. There he is. And then you can also see there's a poster with the steampunk version of this magical mouse. We focused on Dungeons and Dragons, and so a lot of our animals are also different magical creatures. And then let's head this way. And then we're going to end up here in the academic advising hub area for our last slide deck. So come on in. Got a nice seating area for you. Excellent. I'm going to get lost here in the flowers. I hope there's enough seats, and if there isn't, I'm sorry. Thank you for standing. I could also share some things. This seating is very interesting on this one. We talk about how we want our students to have a nice, well-rounded opportunity with different advisors and different folks that teach and also come from industry to help support them. Excellent. And you can see our jellyfish aren't in the water right now. That's been, we've had a lot of fun with jellyfish lately. They're pretty inspiring. Okay, so it looks like most people found their way. And I'm just going to pan out for a moment so you can see where we're at in the project. Okay. And if you see some of our friends that are lost, please offer them a teleport. Thank you. Okay. How do you want to engage with the world? Returning to my core foundation of my learning systems and from my book, Action-Packed Superheroes, Your Guide to Revealing and Utilizing Superpowers, I start with a student's personal exploration with this question. Do you want to affect, exchange, feel, or think? And our related keys to success are courage and communication, develop empathy, and inquiry key. My students filming here on the lawn on campus. So we have an ongoing Peninsula College Challenges and Achievements Inspiring Film Series. And the students interview different students about their experiences and how they overcome things. My multimedia students take many courses, including my video classes, and they have lots of practice projects and several larger storytelling film projects. Each course includes assignments about artful expression, social enterprise, and advocacy. Our Moving Pictures Film Festival celebrated 11 years of student and alumni productions that move and motivate people. It's been important to showcase my students' work on a public forum, and we do this in person and on Zoom so the whole world can join us. And then also, my students' films are part of a festival playlist, and I will definitely make that available if you're interested in it. But I have those playlists in several different locations, including in our library area here with the hub. The target is a small space to aim for. XR multimedia skills give creators too many choices and means to make and share their work. You have to have an endpoint and delivery method in your mind first. Work backwards to stay committed to a project and the message. Students can merge their passion with compassion when they are given the raised platform to stand on and the means to raise their voices for others. What soapbox do you offer them? And here's our keys for them. Pursue your passion and set goals, resources, and study. Now remember, playing is learning. You want to provide a sandbox for them. Let them explore and make messes. Give them tools, lessons, and goals. But let them look for more on their own. The exhilaration of independent learning is a transformational tool. How many of you in Second Life teach your students how to build? When we start with our basic building blocks, and those prims are very powerful and empowering to students to design their thoughtful world. Just having those basic blocks, they find that they are creative and they can make an impact. You can see this picture with J.E.D.I. He wanted to inspire wonder with his dragon egg and to represent something that is strong and fragile with non-visible disabilities. And as I mentioned before, many of my students in our program have different disabilities and that need accommodations. And quite often people can't see what they're experiencing. So they have to find other ways to express themselves. Oops. Metaphors, stories, and missions stick with us. Altruistic learners will grow more given the option to be a hero. Give students a way to help others through creativity, ingenuity, and empathy. Let them save the day. Ahoy! Back to my favorite snapshot I had this year. Back to the conversation pit. Provide experiences for exploratory, affinity learning, and leave room for your learners to add their powerful stories and positive personal missions to make the world a better place together. Stay on target, be brave, and be bold. Thank you very much. And then I got my shameless plug here at the end. If you want to get my book, Action Pack Superheroes, with a direct link. So thank you. Um, so this was a great chance to be able to walk through the project that my students have been working on this year. And thank you, thank you. And so I want to be sure to give everyone a chance to get a cam of the space. I want to get a chance to take a picture of y'all as well. And to remind you that these spaces are open all the time for you to explore and also to share with your students. They are great conversation pieces and opportunities. Does anyone have any questions for me? Thank you, Skipper. I'll tell you what is fun. All these things I share with my students about that idea of having a super team. I'm very happy to be surrounded by my superhero team. Thank you. And we hope to make this more magical and fun. Our goal is to make this inner area full of imagination and then the outer area being more natural beauty. Yes, total dream team. Yes. Oh, it's already magical. Yay. They're right next to me. I can come in here. We're starting to build our little Dungeons and Dragons area, and the students are going to be learning more about gaming and building teams and using their imagination.
Yeah, there's a question here about how does VR storytelling affect empathy?
Thank you.
Someone in Zoom.
Thank you. So how does VR storytelling affect empathy? That's a great question. So one of the things that we've seen in using it is that, especially that opportunity to have the perspective of another helps build that empathy, as well as that we're able to embody different versions of our potential self in a virtual environment. Yeah, Peony, I would love to. Let's talk more about that. Yes, thank you. And the empathetic part, I think, that really comes across is that some of the students have expressed, how they struggle with anxiety, and that anxiety, they want to find ways of helping people so they can get through those anxiety moments. And when we're in an environment like this, especially, they don't notice that 2 hours just went by, that they're so busy taking in things or making things or brainstorming and teaming up, exploring, and also seeing how the rest of the world might function, that their own anxieties, their own frustrations or fears fade away, and these wonderful things come to the forefront. There's also several virtual reality experiences that people can have that are very emotional driven. And I'm hoping that we'll get to explore more of those in the next few years as well, building up our XR lab in my classroom. Okay, good question. Do students want to leave class or do they want to stay? Oh, that's a great question. So, so my program, the degree usually can be completed in a 2-year period. And many of my students end up that they don't want to leave. They stay and try to do things, or they try to apply what they've learned in class. Our our college has employed a number of my former students, and I also help them find lots of jobs locally. And so building spaces in world that are beautiful and welcoming and encouraging I catch them in world, even after they've graduated and they've moved on. I catch them in world in the spaces that they created, then also exploring what the next students did, because this is a persistent project. And so they're seeing how students are adding to what they had built. And they feel like that they have a legacy here through that process. They get super excited. And yeah, this is a beautiful spot. And some of the students just want to hang out here and explain things. And sometimes we'll just open up Second Life and be, you know, I'll be teaching other things during the class time, but they'll hang out here where it's calm and lovely and listen to the water and the birds. Yeah, I will encourage everyone to build environments that bring your students ease and awe, for sure.
There's another question about storytelling and cognitive process. I know according to research, it does
Excellent.
contribute, but that's the question here.
Yes, yes. I'm definitely, so the question is, does VR storytelling contribute to a user's cognitive process? Well, I'd like to open it up to some of the educators that are with us as well to answer that. What I find is that because, you know, there is that notion of in a story, you have your introduction, you have a conflict and a resolution, right? Thank you. And that with that, you know, people have those opportunities to really think through a process, And when I say that idea of like working backwards, I'm always like, decide what the moral of the story is, you know, decide what the takeaway is, what's your call to action first, stick it on the end and get to that point. Andrea, do I financially get supported to maintain the Sims? I do not. I pay for these locations in Second Life myself, and I also pay for everything that you see within these spaces. It is something that is very important to me to provide an environment for my students to be successful and have a sense of place. And since I have students who are on campus and online, it is a place that they can come together and be together. And so, yeah, it is expensive. Yes, that is true. We do pay because we believe in this. We believe in this. And I actually pay for 2.5 Sims in world. So, but thankfully, I have partners like Best, and they're a nonprofit, and so they have nonprofit status. And so being able to pay for a sim and a half with the education discount has been very helpful. And then also because we're part of the Virtual Worlds Education Consortium, Eduverse has been super excellent to be able to gain more and more people coming through and to be able to share these spaces with other educators. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Penny. It's like I bought all the crayons. I bought all the crayons for my students. I have a lucky bucket full of crayons that I have to pay for. And as a college educator, you know, we don't get any education discount in the store. So just K through 12. Thank you, Val, for sharing that as well. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Renne, Zinnia. This was, I mean, I could sit here with you both, not in Zoom, but in Second Life for days. So I think that that's why I asked the question. I'm sure they don't want to leave.
No, we don't. It's really hard, right?
Yeah.
But I'll make it easy. I have to go to campus to help with my IT team today, so we get to stop today. But I want to encourage you all so much to explore and participate, and I really love seeing the comments on Zoom as well. Oh, yay! Thank you, Dex. That's fantastic. And to please reach out to me anytime in world or out. Thank you so much. And Buffy, thank you for taking pictures too. I appreciate that. I think we got way more to talk about and share, and I hope that we can do it again sometime soon. but I
Thank
do have to
you.
go on campus.
All right. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you.
Thank you wherever you happen to be. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
everyone. Thank you so